All right. So this morning our practice is really going to be about moving. Of course, I feel a real necessity for that. I don't know how people um, go through traveling and driving and sitting without having a practice of some sort that moves their body in directions that are not the typical way that they go. And so our practice this morning is going to be more working with a lot of the things we've been working with over the past few weeks. We've been working a lot with that space between the crest of the pelvis to the greater trochanter. So a lot along the side body where we really often aren't finding length, and we want to have length there. And so the practice that I am thinking of with you this morning is going to be a moving practice, and I'll just add little things to remember as you're going. But I will also say that with your awareness, you are able to do so much. And I hope you always remember that with your awareness and your felt sense, you can get into these places in your body. And, I believe it or not, get in there and put your awareness there and see what happens with your intention behind it. Just like everything you do in your life, what is your intention that you have behind your action? What is it? So even when, with all the hours and hours and hours and zillion hours of sitting that I've done over the past 4 days, even when I would get on my bike and take a short ride and I could feel like there's some stuckness at one of my SI joints and I'm pedaling, and I could, with my awareness, really put my awareness into that space. And what can I do to help create more irrigation into that area, more moisture into it? Can I create more glide by being present? Yeah, so I really can't encourage you enough to be present. And I think that one thing about this time period is that we are learning about being present. And certainly when I'm like out in the world and I'm seeing people, I have no idea who these people are, but I don't know them at all, but I'm so always humbled by how generous people are, how willing they are to help you. And I love acknowledging that in them. So people that helped me, like the other night, Wednesday night, I'm teaching my last beginner's class. I'm driving up that coastline and I'm really struggling with trying to where we're going to be. So my friend in Half Moon Bay has suggested this KOA camp. That's kind of between nowhere. Santa Cruz and Half Moon Bay, around just south of the little town of Pescadero, California, but quite a ways south. And so I go to this KOA, and that guy, he really was so open to helping me get a Wi-Fi connection in the around that whole piece of property. I mean, I didn't even roll in there until like 6:10. Class starts at 6:30. It was, and so those people that are just so willing, they're everywhere. And they could be you, right? We could each be these people who acknowledge in others the goodness that is present in everyone. And so how do we nurture that in others, and how do we shine a light into that for them so they can notice and acknowledge what they've done, that part of them. And in return, can that, come back like a reflection. It can bounce back and you feel that. So I think in this time, even now, as we're here and we go about and people are, we all have different thoughts about what is right or wrong. Can we step aside from that, from what is right and wrong, according to whatever our mind, and really be present? And I think our yoga practice will help us tremendously to do that. All right, so I'm going to go back to take a seat. And I'm gonna mute all of you right now, but I just want you to know that please, if you have a question, please feel free to, you'll hit your space bar and you can ask a question anytime during class. I just mute it so that if someone comes in, all right, and we can sit together right now. All right. Okay. We're gonna need a strap, a couple blocks, if you've got them. Yeah, and we'll go from there. All right. So let's go ahead and take a comfortable seat. I'm going to share with you this morning too from the wisdom book. Today's my mom's birthday, and luckily I'm so fortunate she's still here, and she's 84 today. I just feel so much gratitude. So settling into your seat. Lengthening your spine. And dropping into the presence of your breath. So deepening your inhale. And go ahead and begin to practice the 1-to-1 ratio with your ujjayi, or the balanced samavriti breathing. And as you work with the smooth elegance of the inhale, and that pause and the turnaround to the exhale, in this reading, very few people in this world can reason normally. There's a terrible tendency to accept all that is said, all that is read, and to accept it without question. Only he who is ready to question, to think for himself, will find the truth. To understand the currents of a river, he who wishes to know the truth must enter the water. Letting go then on the bottom of the next exhale of any control on the breath, but witnessing how your body is being breathed. You're still watching. And then bringing your hands in front of your heart. The blessing of your two palms touching each other. It's feeling the warmth and this morning we'll chant, I hope you'll join me. I'll chant the Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Punaktu, Saha Vidyam Karava Va'ai, Teja Svina, Barim Tamastu, Ma Vidvisha Va'ai. May we be protected. May we be nourished. May our practice have great energy, the energy to help sustain us. And may we feel the illumination of the practice to dispel any darkness. And may our practice help us to not hate or judge one another. Take a deep inhale. Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Punaktu, Saviryam Karavavai, Tejasvina Varim Tamastu, Ma Vidyashavai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And with your exhale, you can bow your head towards your heart. And then release your hands and lift your gaze. All right, so I'd like to start this practice in either Virasana, if Virasana is okay for you. Otherwise, if sitting in Hero's Pose Virasana doesn't work for your knees or your ankles, then please you can sit cross-legged or you can sit in a chair. If coming into Virasana, where I usually have one block between my heels, if the tops of your ankles are tight, then I would suggest, rolling up a little washcloth right there so that the ankles can have a little rest. They don't feel this pressure. Or if you have discomfort at the back of the knee, you might try putting a blanket into that space so that creates more space. So these are just a couple of ideas that sometimes help. But if neither of those help, not to worry, either sit in a chair or sit in your cross-legged position. Otherwise, let's take Virasana with the knees together, the heels apart. I have my second block available to help support me in this twist. that we're gonna do. But let's begin by inhaling, taking the arms halfway. Exhale, pull the hands towards you. Inhale, reach them away. And exhale, relax the shoulders. Your next inhale, lift your arms. Your exhale, stay present. Lengthen up through your side body. And then your exhale, release the hands. Take them out wide, bringing them all the way down. And again, this time we're going to inhale them halfway out. Exhale, bring your palms toward each other. So here you could be kind of broad across your upper back, mid back. Change the hand of the clasp. Inhale, lift your heart towards your hands. The elbows are wide. Exhale, press them out. Spread the thumb and pinky. Inhale, lift your arms. Lengthen through your sides. So you're really reaching all the way through the side body. And exhale again, release the arms. Still lengthening through the crown of the skull. Inhale the arms halfway. This time we're going to exhale, twisting towards your right. So you're twisting to the right. That means your right hand is behind you. Your left hand might be coming across to the knee, the right knee, or maybe the outer right knee. Can you still work with that smooth quality of your breath? What happens when you really breathe down into the area that maybe you feel the sensation of your twist? We'll take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, you'll come back to the center. You can bring, if you have a block behind you, you can bring it with you. And then you'll take the block off to the other side. Inhale the arms out. And exhale, twisting the other way. So left hand behind you, right hand either to the top of the left knee or the outside of the left thigh. So this twist is, we want the twist to be coming from the navel up. So the pelvis is staying stable. So you might notice if the groin, the inner thigh, that whole crease between the whole pelvis on the right side and the thigh on the right, if that started to lift up, can you stay rooted back down there? So that this twist is coming more from your upper back. Taking another deep inhale. And then you'll exhale and come back to center. All right, let's take your block. There it is. It's probably on your left side already. Let's keep it over there. And inhale, reach your right arm up. So you're reaching down into the right sit bone, lengthening through the right side body, and then exhale, side bending. Sometimes when we side bend, we shorten through the lower back ribs between and the waistline on that side. So make sure that that is broad, that you're not side bending and doing a back bend, that you're actually side bending and reaching and lengthening through those lower back ribs, the waistline on that side, all the way to the rim of the pelvis. And then we're going to inhale, come back up. Exhale, release the arms. Let's go to the other side. When you're ready, inhale, lift your arm. Exhale, side bending. So when I side bend, I can tell that I let it'll be on you, probably your left hip point come a little forward. Just like you do in side angle pose. Another deep inhale. And then your next inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, release the arms. All right, if you're in Virasana, come off of that. If you're cross-legged or something, go ahead and come up. And we're gonna take, I'm gonna move my blankets a little up to the side. We're gonna take plank pose. You're gonna open the back of your right knee, open the back of the left knee. Here you are in plank. Finger pads and knuckles pressing down. Inhale, come forward on the toes. Exhale, straight back into the heels. 2 more. We're going to do 1 more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower the knees to the ground. Inhale again, and exhale, can you bring your chest to the ground? And just rest. If it's okay to bring the forehead down, bring your forehead down. Otherwise, you can bring the chin to the ground. Hands are along the side body. Well, let's slide the hands forward actually and rest. Right hand on top of the left, forehead or chin at the back of the hands. And take 6 full breaths. And then at the bottom of your next exhale, come up onto your forearms. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Palms are on the ground. I know the light coming in might be changing what you're able to see. So I'm going to try to be really clear with what I'm saying. Palms are on the ground. The wrists and elbows are the same distance as the shoulders. You're in Sphinx pose right now. So in your Sphinx pose, press down into that meaty part of the forearm. Tone the belly just a little bit above your pubic bone. So you feel the low belly lift up into your body slightly. Keep that lift and start to lift the top of the breastbone. Another deep inhale, and then as you exhale, come back down to the ground. Slide the hands back, palms on the floor, and inhale to all fours. Exhale to either downward dog or puppy. And here in this downward dog or puppy pose, you take 4 more breaths. Lengthening through the side body. So as you strongly reach into the finger pads and knuckles, are you take the rib cage toward the pelvis. Lengthen the side body. Let's take another deep inhale. And then with your next exhale, let's step the left foot forward. Left foot forward. So now you might need your blocks if you've got blocks, because you're in a lunge. Still breathing deeply. On the back leg, the right inner thigh, the back leg, toning to the inseam. We could lighten the fingers and inhale, take an upright lunge. The arms can either stay wide or you might take them up alongside your ears. Lift the top of the breastbone. Inhale, take the arms back wide. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, step to plank. Exhale, downward dog or puppy. Inhale deeply. And exhale, step the right foot forward. You can draw the blocks back to frame your front foot. We've been working on what is that space between the inner right hip joint, your front leg, and the upper ramus above the pubic bone. So a little length right there between those two places. And when you're ready, let's inhale, come up. Arms are either wide or alongside your ears. Gaze might be towards the floor, straight ahead, or up towards the sky. We'll inhale the arms out. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, step forward. And exhale, fold. Inhale halfway. And exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale halfway. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead alongside your ears. And exhale your hands back in front of your heart. And release the arms. Let's strip the feet wide apart and take a block at the right outer shin. Oh, it's so nice to have blocks again. I missed my blocks so much. Okay, we're setting up side angle because I want some more length in the side body. So when you're ready, inhale the arms out and exhale, side angle pose, Ardha. So on the front leg, can you create space between, if you remember, those of you who've been in class over the past couple of weeks, that there's a space you're creating between the inner right hip joint and the pubic area. So let there create some space there. Turn your heart up towards the sky. And then we'll inhale, come up. And spin the feet the other way. Inhale, take the arms out. Exhale, side angle, Parsvakonasana. Still working with your breathing. Working on the smoothness of the breath. And then we'll inhale, come up. Exhale, turn the foot in, relax both arms. Let's step the feet together and take mountain pose. Beautiful. So now we're going to take sun salutation. So let's take blocks. Go back to the top of your mat. I'm going to go sideways. And let's have a blanket available for we might take with the lunge, we'll pick the back knee down. So having a blanket off to one side for that. And then coming to the top of the mat, hands together in front of your heart. And just pausing for a moment to notice and to remember. I was just remembering since Mount St. Helens, right? We just had the anniversary of the eruption of Mount St. Helens. So there's all that power that exists in nature, but we are nature. So it also exists within us. And we had said, you know, that Vira, which means like vigor. So we want to support that within us. So we have that right balance of effort and ease. All right, let's inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog or puppy, it's fine. You can either take downward dog with hands on blocks if you would like. Let's slide a blanket under so that it'll be available for the back knee in a moment. And then let's inhale, lift your right leg. Come up on the ball of the left foot. And exhale, right foot forward. Slide the box back. Lower the back knee. So the front knee is going past the front ankle. So on the front hip, if you were with me Wednesday, we talked about how the front hip crease goes all the way out. That whole groin goes all the way out towards the greater trochanter. So on the front leg, can you broaden all the way across? And then we'll go ahead and come back forward, down. We're going to take downward facing dog or puppy. So in your downward dog or puppy pose, you might get a sense of what is that space like of the area where the groin, that whole inguinal ligament, it comes from pubic bone up towards that hip point, and then all the way down again towards the outside of the greater trochanter. I mean, all the way across. How does it feel, the right side compared to the left side? And then let's inhale, lift your left leg, come up on the ball of the right foot, and exhale, bring your foot forward. Hands can come back to blocks if you've got them. Exhale, bring the back knee down. So on the front leg, oh, I wish the light was a little better, but it's really blasting in this window. But as you go all the way in that crease that comes all the way across on the front leg from the pubic bone, all the way out towards your left, the front of your left greater trochanter. So how do you soften that space? Can you still lift through the top of your breastbone? Great. And then we'll come back. And we're gonna step back again, downward facing dog or puppy. And can you move, if you're in downward dog, move your blanket out of the way. Inhale, come to plank. Exhale, lightly touch your knees down. Come all the way to the ground with the chest. Your next inhale, take a little cobra. Your exhale, release. Can we do 2 more? And in between, bow the forehead to the ground. So the inhale to cobra. The exhale, releasing. Slowly coming down. And the forehead humbly touching the floor. Inhale, 1 more. Exhale, lower. Inhale, all 4. And exhale, puppy or downward dog. Inhale deeply, and then as you exhale, go ahead and walk your hands towards your feet or your knees if you're in puppy. And then we're going to inhale, come all the way upright. You can make a transition, arms overhead. Exhale your hands back in front of your heart. I'm just seeing, can you recognize within yourself your own light, your own strength or Vera? And then release the arms. I want to take one more low lunge with the knee down, so Anjaneyasana. So I'm going to turn and face you, but you're going to want your blanket for your knee. We can go ahead and come down to the knees and your blocks. And then let's step the left foot forward. The right knee is on the blanket. This time, if you've got blocks, make them tall and draw them back, pull them back so that you'll be lifting the torso up to create more length through the front of your right hip. So I'm still releasing the left pubic bone away from the left inner thigh, left inner hip, taking those 2 away from each other. If I don't have any blocks, I'm going to have my hands at the top of the left thigh. We're going to take your right arm. Inhale, reach the right arm up. And begin to lift. Lift through the heart. And your exhale, come forward. And we're going to switch sides. So it's right foot forward. I'm letting my right knee is going to go past my right ankle. Making sure I pull my blocks back towards the blanket that I'm kneeling on, even though you can hardly tell probably because of the light. And there it is, the space you're creating between the inner right hip And then that whole pubic area, let that be a little more length there. And then, if you like, add the left arm and begin to lift. So from inside the pelvis on the left, you're lengthening all the way up. There's two directions going on there. Lower psoas reaches toward the inner thigh, and then middle psoas reaches up. There's a little tone, and then we'll exhale, release. Now we're gonna shift the blocks forward, and you're gonna inhale, step forward. So you'll come into Uttanasana, a forward fold. Releasing the head and neck. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, bow. Shift your hands onto your hips. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale your hands back in front of your heart. And then we'll release the arms. You can move your blanket back out of the way for a moment. And let's take warrior one. So I'm gonna go sideways. You're gonna stand at the top of your mat. So we've just been working so much with that area between the top of the pubic bone, right? We remember that we have two pubic bones, and here's the inner thigh, right? And your pelvis is like this. And so this space between this upper bone and your inner hip joint, we're creating, we want to work, how do I make space there? Okay. So, standing at the top of your mat, let's step the right foot back. So remember, the pelvis is pointing, those two hip points are pointing straight ahead. The back foot has a slight turnout. I always find myself inching my front foot forward a little. All right, let's inhale, lift both arms. And exhale, bring the front shin forward. So right as you go, are you releasing again that area on the front leg that I just pointed out on that model? On the back leg, there's tone at the upper back inner thigh. Keep some tone there. And then we'll inhale, take the arms wide, straighten the front leg, step forward. And exhale, step your other leg back. So I'm pointing both hip points straight ahead. And the back foot has a slight turn out, like 10, 15 degrees. The feet are hip distance. Inhale, take the arms out. Inhale, lift them up. And exhale, bringing the front shin forward. Toning the back inner thigh. Inhale, take the arms out. Exhale, step forward. Relax both arms. Step the feet wide apart on your yoga mat now. And take your hands on your hip. And let's take a wide-legged forward fold. Wide-legged forward fold. We'll walk the hands to be back towards that space between your feet. And then let's walk the hands out towards downward dog arms. Still keeping the weight balance between the heel and the ball of the foot. All right. And then let's shift the weight forward to your hands and bring the knees to the ground and take child's pose. And in your child's pose, can you prioritize the sit bones reaching toward the heels? So you can put a block under the forehead or stack your fists. Great. And then walk your hands back and come up to sitting. Okay. So I want to do half Virasana. Can we take half Supta Virasana? For some of us, here's the choices. Because for some of you, this might be just too much. Let me give a couple options. One option is going to be, I'm going to take my blocks end to end, and I'm going to put a blanket. If I have a bolster, I might even put that up there. Okay. Another blanket. So for some of you, when you come, you're going to sit in front of your stack. So you're not going to be on the stack. And we're going to bring one foot forward to the floor. Oh, it's so dark. Can't even tell I have a foot there. And then the blocks and the blankets are supporting from my pelvis up. And I might put like a pillow or an extra blanket will go under my head. This leg, I'm going to lift my pelvis up to keep lengthening through the front of this down leg side. So if this is too much, then I would encourage you to go back to the low lunge with the back knee on a blanket and the one arm lifted up. So you're going to do the Anjaneyasana version. If you're not doing this version, the half Supta Virasana. Let's see if this camera is going to work here. I'm going to look and see if I can help anybody out. See what's happening for you. So on the blocks or the blankets are supporting the spine. And then if you add a pillow or something under the head, it can be helpful, or a little roll in your blanket. And let's keep the one foot on the floor. So there you go. Yeah, that's it, Colleen. So that you can feel, is the pelvis level? That looks good, Anne. Yours looks great. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah. And with the back knee down, doing the lunge is great as well. Yeah, exactly. And if I'm also lifting my hips up, I'm lifting the hips up. Notice what happens when you lift your hips to open the front of the joint. And then let's go ahead and take the second side. let's see. So let's see, Lynn Rear, you're gonna need a little more height under your upper back and spine, I think, so that the knee won't feel strained and stressed. Yeah. And so, yes, and if my knees are like, oh my gosh, no, then take one leg straight and the other foot on the floor. That's still gonna add some space at the front of the hip joint. Yeah, that looks better, Lynn. That looks better. Beautiful, that's it. That's at least, and then does the top of the breastbone, do you feel a lift right there to help support your neck? Yeah. Wonderful, good. Yay. All right, and then let's come out of that. So now you come out of that, and can you turn around towards your little stack or whatever and take a downward facing dog. You're welcome to make some support to put your forehead on. Or if downward dog, you know, if you want to just be in puppy, that's fine too. We're just going back. We were in, you know, we had hip extension and now we're going back to flexion. So we can have a little counter pose to that last pose. Wonderful. And then go ahead and walk your hands back. And let me show you what I'm thinking for the next part. I want to do, offer you anyway, a half camel. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to look something like this. I'm going to take my same stack that I just used for the half Virasana, but I'm going to turn it this way so that it's going to be, my ankles are going to be up on it. If I have a bolster, I don't know how many of you do, but if I have a bolster, I'll probably put, see my heels up on this stack and the bolster on top of my heels even. That would be one idea. Yeah, another idea would be, some of you have foam rollers. So I might do something with the foam roller. Probably have to put it on top of my blanket. Put my ankles on top of that. Maybe I'll put a little padding under my knees here. So I could do something along those lines. That would be another option. Okay. I'm making a little stack. It's going to be my feet, the tops of my feet are going to be on top of that. I'm going to pad the ground for my knees. I'm going to check my camera. I can't see it very good. It looks like it's okay. All right, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm kneeling on my blanket, standing on my knees, and I'm thinking of, I'm going to be lengthening down from my hip points inside my pelvis all the way to the inner thigh towards the knee. And also from the lower psoas all the way down. So I'm taking, I said I was going to do a half camel. So what I'm going to do is take, this is my left side, I'm going to take my left arm down and my right arm up. And then I'll come back to vertical. I'll inhale, I'm going to take the arms out to the sides. Exhale, I'm lifting through my heart, reaching down through my knees. Right hand is finding my heel. That's why I have my heels up so high. And coming back. You want to try that? I'm going to come over and see if I can offer any help so I can see you better. Yeah, so you're standing on the knees. And let's inhale the arms out to the sides, both of them out. Good. And then you're going to take the right arm down and the left arm up. Doesn't matter, whichever side you picked. Yeah. Beautiful. That's it. Oh, it's so much fun to be able to see you. I so miss seeing you closer. You might, yeah, that looks good. That looks great, Lise. Good. Good. And then release the arms wide. Release both arms down. Okay, just notice for a moment. So before you do the second side, it's just a reminder in the deep belly that there's a little tone even as you lengthen those two ways away from each other. You're not just like letting go, you're doing, you're like, it's an eccentric contraction, so there's a little tone as you lift and open. So the arms wide, when you're ready, take your second side, go ahead, yeah, so you're supporting the lumbar spine. Good. Beautiful, yeah. And then the arms wide, and then you can sit back on your heels and just rest for a moment. Do you have any questions? Because you're definitely going to try this again. You have the option of trying this again. Because one camel they get easier, right? Any back bending, the consecutives get easier. So if you have a question, you can hit your space bar and let me know. You ready for the other one? All right then. Let's stand on the knees. And inhale the arms out. Exhale, we'll take whatever, right arm down, left arm up, whatever it is. Inhale the arms wide. Exhale, second side. Lifting through the heart, you're fountaining up, lengthening through that one side, inhaling deeply. Yeah, that's good, Lise. And then exhale, release. Very nice, good, wonderful. Okay, so let's come out of that. And let's take a blanket or two blankets, something like that, to sit on, and a strap. Do you have a strap or a belt? And here, you're going to take, let's say your right leg straight. Maybe I'm going to sit on one blanket because you're going to take your right leg straight. Your left foot is going to be bridging the inner knee. So the ball of your left foot, the ball of the bent knee is going below the knee, and the heel of the bent knee is going above it. The knee of that side, if it doesn't touch the ground, please put something under it so it's supported. Then you're going to take a strap, put it over the straight leg, and take the tail around towards the bent knee hip, that hip point. Straight leg, the arm of the straight leg, reach it all the way behind you to grab onto the tail of the strap over at the top of the opposite thigh. Then this arm, the bent knee side, you're going to reach it towards your foot or the strap, and you're twisting towards the straight leg. This is a version of the Marichiyasana 2. So you have the hand on the strap towards the foot and the hand at the outer side body of the bent knee side. And then we'll come back to center. Let's take the second side. Straight leg, other side. Knee, maybe you need a little support under that outer knee. Strap around the straight leg foot. And the tail around the front of the bent knee side. Straight leg arm reaches behind you, comes all the way around, grabs way over there on that strap. And you're twisting towards the straight leg side. And then you're going to come back to center. Take the strap off. Take both legs straight. And just give a little massage to the knees for a moment. 2 straight legs. All right. So now I want to offer Gomukhasana legs or the figure 4. So when you come, let's say you're going to take Gomukhasana legs. And sometimes it's good to have, you could do it on a block or have a blanket like diamond shape. So you might be sitting on that corner. If I kneel in front of this and I'm going to take, let's say that my top leg's going to be my left leg, my bottom leg's going to be the right. The feet are out on either side, and I'm going to sit back. This is the Gomukhasana legs. You could sit on a block. And if this is like, oh my gosh, no, Lynn, then take the figure 4 where you lie on the ground and cross the left heel over the top of the right knee. But once you come into your seat, can you make the hips level, which sometimes takes a little awareness, a little encouragement to go, oh, what's happening in my hips? Let's see here. There we go. That's better for me. All right, let's switch sides, whether you're in a figure 4 or the Gomukhasana legs. A block works great too. So some of you might be sitting on a block. All the layers and layers and layers in the hip joint. Even if we thought of it, because a lot of us are probably feeling a stretch at the outer hip. So I'll just remind you that some of those muscles are coming from the pelvis itself, just the pelvis, to the femur, the outer greater trochanter. On the leg that's on top, you might feel that. And then one of those rotators is coming from the sacrum to the top of that greater trochanter. So we have all these layers, and it's just interesting I find, to think sometimes of the many layers, that how they're affecting my body positioning, which is affecting my spine alignment, and all the way up to my neck. All right, very good. And then we'll come out of that, and we'll take 2 straight legs. Again, if you're sitting anyway, you're going to take 2 straight legs. If you're on the floor in your figure 4, you can bend both knees to your chest. You don't have to come back up to sitting right now. We're all going to come down and join you anyway. So let's go ahead and come down to the ground. And let's take, we're going to cross the shins, and just grab onto the little toe side of the foot. Shins crossed. And then let's change the cross of the shin. So the other one's on top. And then we'll uncross the shins, bring both knees to the chest. A moment of some version of happy baby. The knees now are wider, but they don't have to be super wide. You might just have a hold at the ankles or shins. And then we'll bring the feet and the knees together. Feet to the ground. And then Shavasana, supported. What feels good for you this morning for your Shavasana pose? twice blessed, so that I stopped there and looked into the waters, seeing not only my reflected face, but the great sky that framed my lonely figure. And after a moment, I lifted my hands and then my eyes, and I allowed myself to be astonished by the great everywhere calling to me like an old and unspoken invitation, made new by the sun and the spring and the cloud and the light, like something both calling to me and radiating from where I stood, as if I could understand everything I had been given and everything ever taken from me, as if I could be everything I have ever learned and everything I could ever know, as if I knew both the way I had come and secretly the way underneath I was still promised to go, brought together like this with the unyielding ground and the symmetry of the moving sky caught in still waters. Someone I have been and someone I am just about to become, something I am and will be forever. The sheer generosity of being loved through loving, the miracle reflection of a twice blessed life. So letting that awareness pour over you as you deepen your breath in this blessing of the gift of your breathing, and the gift of your presence as you awaken your body to movement. And mindfully transitioning yourself over to one side. And with your awareness in your arms as you press into the earth and bring yourself back up to sitting. And honoring your presence and the gift of another day. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's great to see you, even if it's not in flesh. I'm grateful to be able to at least see you like this.
Welcome home.
Thank you, Lynn.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.